What's up, everybody? This is Samuel welcoming you to another episode of Music in the Minor League. Today we have a special episode. We have our first remote guest, Mr. Brian Johanson from Britches out of Fort Collins, Colorado. We met him this last year when we were on tour and played the Choice City Stomp. He does a lot for music up in that area, man. Great musician. Britches is a great, funny, killer Western swing band. We think you'll really dig him if you give him a chance. To kick off the podcast, we'll do what we always do and get these few housekeeping items out of the way. First off, if you like what you hear, tell your friends. Easiest way to get folks to listen. It really helps us get the word out about all these bands. It really helps to get the word out. Second, if you like the bands or any of the bands we discuss, please go follow them on your streaming network of choice. That really helps them with finding new venues, getting new followers, and just getting their music out, man. It helps them reach new audiences. It's a great thing, and it costs you almost nothing. Finally, if you're interested in seeing Brightwire, we're heading into the April month, which sees us hitting the road. First, though, we're going to be going back home. If you haven't heard, Dan Electro's is back open. We'll be doing our first show there on April 8th. That'll be with Grifters and Shills. It's going to be a good one. April 13th, we hit the road with Grifters and Shills. We'll be doing the Hunt Club in Tulsa, Oklahoma. On April 14th, we'll be doing the Brick in Kansas City, Missouri with Grifters and Shills and Johnny Lawhorn from Pentagram String Band. We're pretty stoked for that one. On the 15th, we'll be at AM/PM Bar in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And on the 16th, we'll be at Frankie's OKC. That show will be with Grifters and Shills, Griffin Wade, and Rachel Lynch. It's going to be a good one. And then on April 22nd, we'll be back here in the Houston area. We'll be at Ronnie's Ice House in Dickinson, playing for their EquiSearch benefit they do every year. Jeff and everybody do a really cool thing. There's great barbecue. They're raising money to help find people. But what they do is great work. We recommend checking them out online and coming out and donating some money. And that does it for our April. In May, we'll be out at the Old Quarter Acoustic Cafe with Trish Cramblett, and we'll be at the Saxon Pub in Austin with Austin Mays on the 16th of May. So we'll see you then. Till next time, have a good one. We're going to kick off the episode now. And before we get started, we're going to do Crying in the Drive-Thru, one of our favorite tunes off the new album from Britches called No One Cares That It's Your Birthday. We hope you dig it. We'll start the interview on the other side.
Tuesday and I'm not over you. I searched over an hour for my keys. I gotta get out of this house for real. Oh, I could eat my body weight. It doesn't have to taste great. All I need is something to make me feel. I'm gonna eat my feelings. I'll have a supersized number 2. I'm drunk at 1 a.m. crying in the drive-thru. I'm drunk at 1 a.m. crying in the drive-thru. Sounds so sweet.
Hi, how can I help you?
It's the first voice I've heard since you left me.
That'll be $10.94. Extra price, $1 more.
Pull forward to the second window, please. Oh, I've tried so hard to fill the void. You got my heart wrapped up in chains. supersize #2. I'm drunk at 1 a.m. crying in the drive-thru. I'm drunk at 1 a.m. crying in the drive-thru.
Sir, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here crying in the drive-thru.
All right, man. We're here today with Brian Johanson of Sugar Britches. Thanks for coming in, man. It's good to have you in person. We got, well, I'll say in person, not in person. Our first interview that's not in person. We just got this new fancy recorder and we're trying it out. We met Brian over the summer at the Choice City Stomp. He was not playing, but he was there. He was serving. You were bartending, weren't you? Or just hanging around?
I was just
remembers
creeping
behind the
around.
bar. Okay.
Nice.
I don't know why, but I drank a lot that day, so
No, yeah, I
you
was
handed me a
definitely
beer
just
at some point.
creeping. I probably did. I was just creeping and enjoying the music. So, kind of help organize those things with Elaine Holmes, of course. And then the biggest joy is, of course, just getting to go for free and hearing all this awesome music. So, yeah, I was just creeping around that day and enjoying you guys. So.
It was fun just because, like, both of them were like, which one was Brian? I was like, him and Dylan had the matching outfits. And I was like, oh,
Oh, yeah.
oh, yeah, okay. We instantly know who that is. Like, that's the dude. And I was like, yeah, man, 'cause he told me about his band. I remember I was putting stuff on the way home and listening to various things, like on Spotify. We were finishing out the tour. And then, I'll be honest, like, we got home and, got back to life. I didn't listen to anything. And then when you hit these up, I was like, yeah, I'm going to check them out again. Not to be nice, but, we listened to it like a lot. Like, I've been listening to it quite a bit because it's
wow.
it's funny.
Yes.
But it's funny not in the bad, like, where you're beating someone over the head with a stick kind of thing. Like, it's witty. Like, every one of those songs you can go, I either know that dude or I've been that dude. So that's a big part of it, man. It's funny, but it's also witty and carries itself as a legit song on top of it.
Oh, thank you. That's a very nice compliment. I'll take it.
But I mean, it's true, man. I'm not one to normally.
He does not believe in blowing smoke in people's asses.
I just won't say anything. I'm like, you write songs, Brian. That's nice. Song, yes.
I remember one time I got off stage somewhere, and I think it was probably the worst thing someone said to me was they were just like, oh, hey, I saw you up there.
Like, what am I? Where's Waldo? You found me?
Yeah. It's like, oh, man, you could have said something.
Man, didn't even elicit like a mild response. Like, hey, there you are.
That was a great C chord you played there in that one song.
God.
Yeah. So no, thanks for listening. That's a huge compliment, and I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Now we did, man. So I guess like we always start out with everybody, man. I know you've been playing music for quite a while, but I guess at what age did you start picking up guitar and playing music?
We had kind of a musical family. My brothers and sisters all played piano, and then I kind of had to be different. So I think when I was like 6, I started playing violin, and that lasted just a couple years. I just kind of was interested in it and had to be different. I was taught by a nun in New York, and yeah, my mom says she was really mean, but I don't really remember her being too mean. So, but the main takeaway is that I don't play violin anymore. So
is that what led you to country? You decided to do some fiddle stuff, or was it just you did straight violin?
it was straight Suzuki violin, but my mom's dad was actually a country singer in Denver, and he passed way before I was born. But I think that's probably where kind of a lot of the musical inheritances come from.
Were you exposed to it as a kid, his music?
It was so long ago too. It was like there just wasn't really any of it around. They didn't have any recordings of it. Like he'd go play with other bands and stuff, and he played country music, and then he also played German polka.
Hell yeah!
It's a very interesting thing, and like I said, I never knew him. My grandma never really talked about him too much either. So it's something I didn't really quite discover any of this until I was a little bit older in college when I first started really listening to country music.
Is that when you decided to pick up a guitar?
Guitar, I was probably about 15 when I first picked up guitar. It was mostly just, try to impress girls. And,
man, that is the biggest motivator for learning guitar.
I know. It is, yeah. And it still hasn't worked, I think, so.
Nope.
But nope, it never does. But so I think when I was about 15, and then I just I took a few lessons, played around a little bit, but I was never really that great at guitar. But I definitely started to write music when I got into college, and that's kind of when I discovered more country folk music, because I'd kind of grown up listening to a lot of shitty stuff. So we were raised on Christian music, so.
Oh, how
not
lovely.
a lot of great.
I can totally relate.
Oh, nice. Yeah. All the, what is it? Christian contemporary music?
Contemporary Christian music. CCM's a big thing.
So big Michael W. Smith fan in our house, and Amy Grant. And
some Jars of Clay, some DC
Talk. Yeah.
Who did not love DC Talk?
I can say I didn't. Saw him at the Astroworld, and it was not that I'm sorry. No offense. If there's a DC Talk fan who is a fan of this podcast, I apologize. It is merely my opinion, not the opinion of this podcast.
Yeah, it's the opinion of the podcast outside of Kim.
I'm just saying at that age, what I had been exposed to, they were cool and new, and I didn't know anything like them. So
they're the closest thing to Salt and Pepper you could get.
Exactly.
That's the one. That's the one that got Kim just cut off from music.
No.
What?
Yeah.
That was George Michael.
Oh, it was George Michael? It was one of the people singing about sex or something that was just like, and you're going to go stay with your grandma for the weekend.
While we clean out your room and take away all your music.
You are no longer allowed to listen to secular music that's about sex. And
it was fun. It was a lovely childhood.
So George Michael was the first album that got thrown out for you?
It was what got all my stuff thrown out. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. I think it took away my radio for 2 years.
What?
Yeah.
How old were you when this happened?
I was like 12.
I thought you'd be like, I was 22.
No. No, but I got married at like 19, so I could get the heck out of that.
So you get your George Michael album back. I get it.
you get back to your Guns N' Roses and Slayer records.
I was really mad about the Whitesnake album, to be honest with you, but that was I like hair metal.
The best part about this podcast is all the stuff we learn about Kim as we go through these episodes.
Right, it's basically just use the guest to learn about Kim, who doesn't say much.
Oh, totally.
Let's get back.
No, I think that's great. Yeah, because I think I remember my mom specifically throwing out an LL Cool J tape.
No.
That I had gotten for my 12th or 13th birthday, and then I loved Tupac and Biggie too, and those all got thrown out. And then after that, I was old enough to just be like, I'm all right. I can listen to whatever. But it was a rough few years of just Christian music and Bryan Adams. So.
Oh man, Bryan Adams. Whew.
Yeah.
Yes.
All the safe stuff. But
yeah. Can you listen to all the Canadian artists?
Some people thought Rush was dangerous too, though.
That's true. Cuts like a knife, but that's a good music.
He got a word in. He got a lyric in the podcast.
That's great.
You know it.
We're going to pay a royalty for that now, I bet.
Oh no. It's fair use.
Sorry, guys. But anyway, sorry, I totally side railed us there. But so I started expanding into kind of country in college and just kind of writing my own stuff too. So. I'd say when I was about 19 or 20, I started writing, and even though I'm still not, a great guitarist to this day, but I'm a little bit more lyrically minded, I would say. So I started writing and then just going out in the local Fort Collins, Colorado scene and writing, doing open mics, and just performing with other people too, kind of getting my feet wet.
Yeah, that's one thing from watching the videos and everything. Is like, the people who play with you are pretty badass musicians too. So it kind of shows that if your songs sucked, you wouldn't have people of that like lead ability, and your bass player stuff like, oh yeah, I'll play with him.
Well, but I think what's getting lost is though, like your playing style is so percussive with your music. It does dual, taking on two roles there. So really, you're covering a lot of ground. And you may not think it's like that impressive, but for me, a friend of mine's grandfather was a pedal steel player for Bob Wills and the Texas Playboys, and he still plays, and he plays with a bunch of these guys are old, and they have an acoustic guitar player. He plays just like you, and that guy's been doing it for 50 years. So you're on the right track. I mean, honestly. So do not marginalize what you bring to the table, bud.
Yeah,
it's good.
Definitely.
Oh, thank you. Well, yeah, and that is an interesting thing too, because I mean, we don't typically play with the drummer, and it is nice because we do have that kind of percussive sound in there, and that rhythm guitar at least, and that
it works.
And I remember, and I've kind of tried to steer away from that even in the last few years sometimes, and people just be like, "What are you doing? Just play how you play," and that's just kind of what feels natural. And even when I write, that's just kind of how it feels when I pick up a guitar. So
it works because it allows the players with you to do their part and bring that aspect to the song, man. Like, because we listened to a couple of different tracks just before we got on air, and one of them I think you recorded at the Forge, and it was you, a bass player and a guitar player. Killer. Like the guitar player is just really just carrying that nice melody in there. And then we watched another one. It was like another different guitar player, a bass player, than a resonator player. And man, it was just perfect, dude. Like it totally allowed those guys the freedom to play and fill that space. So I thought it was great. To me, it's intentional as hell, and I love it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I always tell people, they're like, "What style is that?" And I'll just be like, "It's kind of just sloppy style." But
it gets the bills paid.
It's my style.
Yeah, totally. No, yeah, it is though. And I've seen a handful of other people play like that, but not a lot at all. And
no.
It definitely, I see faces in the crowd, and they'll be mouthing to each other while I go, and they'll just kind of do that to each other, like pointing at me. So
you're doing it right then, man.
Yeah, I guess I'm a novelty act.
I don't know about that.
It's just something to stand out where people are like, "Oh man, that's different." Like this dude plays like the flipper style. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is a little different. Thanks for noticing.
And then another thing that you bring that we noticed was, you do a lot of great facial expressions and looks while playing. Like it was like ways kind of, I don't know, it fits the music. But Kim was just like, he makes the best. You watch him, he makes the best faces.
Not like the whole time.
Oh, thank you.
But when you're accenting a word,
yeah,
those eyebrows are great.
Good. When I first started playing, when I first started playing in my early 20s, I had to be drinking and almost drunk to play a lot of the time. So a lot of that time I'd be singing and playing, but I would not move around a lot. That was just a lot of nerves and stuff. And then I've been sober for about 9 years now. And ever since I sobered up, I still don't move around a lot, but I did kind of learn, well, I don't have to dance on stage or anything. I don't have to do anything crazy. That's just not who I am. But I do think that I can be a little bit more expressive with my face and my body a little bit. So I've kind of tried to be aware of that as well, just so I don't look like a animatronic, Chuck E. Cheese up there.
Man, Chuck E. Cheese. You mean Showbiz Pizza?
Oh yeah, that was my favorite band when I was a kid. So
right.
I think it was kind of everyone's first music experience.
It was.
It might have been.
It was like the first concert I ever really went to. Where the
back when it was Showbiz.
Oh yeah,
and the pizza was good back then.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
good times.
That's why I'm such a big Bear fan at this point in my life, because I really love those rock and roll Bears.
I may or may not have tried to price out buying a set for my house.
Good God.
Man!
Oh my God!
That's why I love the new. I think it was the latest one, like Red Fang video, where they did the animatronic monster thing that was getting messed up on pizza.
Cool. Oh, what a good idea! That's awesome.
It's good.
I love that.
But first thing, congrats on 9 years sober. I know.
Heck yeah.
Well, we're not, but the one thing I learned from pre-pandemic to post, it's a lot easier and more enjoyable to be in the moment playing once you stop drinking a bunch before you get on stage. I know I've been working to be less work on stage, so it's been nice.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I don't know, when you kind of realize your relationship with the audience and just your relationship with yourself in front of an audience too, and just I don't know, that mindful awareness of self. I know that's kind of a buzzword too, but it's a very interesting thing.
Kind of like playing without having the training wheels on.
Yeah, totally. Well, and when I first sobered up, I hadn't played for about 5 years because I had been kicked out of my first band, and I was really bitter and resentful just towards playing or music or anything. And then sobered up and kind of picked up the guitar a little bit again. And my oldest son Everett was like, "Why don't you ever play anymore? Why don't you go play?" And I was like, "I don't really know." And then I kind of made it an effort to play around the house, and I started writing again, and then I just started going back at it, and it's kind of all been, the wheels just been moving ever since. And played solo for a few years, and then did Sugar Britches, and play a lot now. So
did I hear that you guys were voted like one of the best bands in Colorado?
Yeah, we I think that was back in 2021. There's a radio station, the Colorado Playlist, and they did a reader poll, and it was the top 20 bands. So I think we tied for number 19, maybe.
Heck yeah, man! Congrats.
But yeah, totally. But that's a huge compliment for sure from all the listeners. And I never
when
thought
somebody votes your band anything, it's like, wow, thanks, you paid attention.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Well, and there's just so much talent out here in Colorado too. I mean,
That is true.
yeah, there's just and every state has their own scene and everything too. But man, I'm just always so shocked at how many good players and pickers and writers and just everybody out here. And then everybody's always pretty encouraging of each other too, and very supportive. Everybody builds each other up usually. So,
Well, that's why you have a thriving scene too, because people do that for each other there. Is that we find that our scene is just getting better and better. People that don't help each other out don't really last,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no one really wants to work with work with anybody like that. Or
Plus, it's good up there because, like I said, I know you have Elaine and everybody doing stuff like the Stomp, things like that. And I mean, Elaine Holmes was someone that before this I'd never met before the Stomp this year, but like everyone I knew who talked about playing in Denver, Fort Collins area was like, oh man, there's the Holmeses, you have to go and they're the best. And I mean, that goes from like Shane and Micah from 2Cal, like our friends in this band Gallows Bound, like everybody was like, oh, they're the best. When you go up there, look them up. And then John and Rebecca even.
That was like Ohio band and Virginia band.
That's what I say. Everybody was just like, dude, they're the best. So
totally. Yeah. They know everybody all around. And, when I first started going even back to hear live music, I mean, Elaine's just my buddy who, if I need a show to go to, I'll just be like, Elaine, what's happening? And she knows all this good stuff. And I mean, any recommendation she has is always a good recommendation. And so anytime she wants to put on a show, it's just like, she knows all the best musicians too. So, I mean, and you guys should take that as a compliment too. Cause she knows her stuff and she only books really talented people and really nice people too. So
yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is like, it's not just musicality with her. If she doesn't like you as a person, you're not getting a phone call either. And I think that's good. I mean, that's how you keep a scene thriving and people wanting to be part of it and willing to drive 18 hours to come to a show kind of thing, because that everything that's been curated for that show is going to be worth your time and they're going to be solid people. We met so many solid bands at the Choice City Stomp that I'm like, dude, I feel like if we're in the middle of nowhere in some state and we know one of those bands we played with there and they live in that state, they would come help us out. Like, that's the caliber of people that were put on those bills. And it's amazing, man.
Oh, totally.
Like, yeah, you don't get that everywhere.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And yeah, I've met a lot of people from the Choice City Stomp stuff too, who they'll answer a Facebook message or an email or text right away, and they'll just be right there to help. And it's a very cool group of people to be a part of and to know all those folks too. But yeah, and Elaine and her mom always they offer their house up to any traveling musicians too to crash on the couch or anything like that. And I mean, they're just lovers of music and the biggest sweethearts. So
yeah, it was just cool. Right after that, when we were in Tulsa, we ran in. Dylan was up there running, I guess, tour managing and merch for Willie Carlisle, and it was just like,
oh, nice.
Oh, they were playing over here at Mercury Lounge. We ran over, hung out, had fun, man. So it was cool to be like, cool, we're on the road and just running across people, and you get to go hang out with them. So it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, he's a big sweetheart too. And
he is.
Oh yeah, that Willie Carlisle's a real sweetie too.
Oh man, yeah, I'm glad we got to see him, before he started getting. We got to see him like in a tiny room with just us and like 10 other people.
Oh, totally.
And now that'll never happen again.
Because that was like a whole other caliber of performance, like I've not ever seen.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
And it's so cool when you see that with people you've played with or seen perform, in those smaller places. It's just like, it's something magical to see that rise happen. And yeah, I remember seeing him at a little place called Forge at first, and there was 5 people listening, and then Sugar Britches played a show with him out at the swing station. Oh, probably back in 2018, 2019, and yeah, about 10 people showed, and they just missed out on one of the best shows of their life. And then a few years later, and yeah, I mean,
blew up.
He's oh, totally. So, and it could happen to a nicer, more talented fella too. So. Yeah.
Are you ready for that? Is that something that you're working towards? Blowing up?
I don't know. I don't know what I want anymore.
Right?
That's a very serious question there, Kim.
Right, that's kind of the point of this, because our whole deal is starting the podcast. We want to talk to people, who are just like the minor league bands. People just out playing because they love doing it, and they're making, you have accomplishments, you're doing great things, but it's hard. It's hard to blow up.
Well, I know if someone asked me that question, honestly, I would say no. Like we have a lot of really cool stuff now, and I think getting any bigger, well, not.
Oh no, I'd like to get. My goal I always say really is, big. I'd like to be big enough to get about 50 to 75 people in every town we go to.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
other than that, I don't know. I'm not that much of a personality. Just I get tired. I feel like they've been weird on you.
I think you are. I think you all are. But no, and I think, without sounding like too egotistical, I mean, I think the way that I connect with people, and I mean, the main reason I play music is because I feel like that connects me with people. Otherwise, I sometimes have a hard time connecting, but, I'll go up and sing songs that I write and, to have people singing along or asking me questions about it afterwards, that's just a huge human connection thing. And so that's a really big deal. And that's a really big high that I definitely keep chasing. And, I still, I like being home. I just got married a couple years ago.
Congrats.
We have, thank you. Yeah. So we have the 3 kids, and so my wife's in school full time right now. So I've kind of tried to be a little bit closer to home this year, and but I love to travel. I'd love to be able to play music full time. I still have a full time job as well, but that would be the ultimate goal is just to be able to write music and play music, but.
Yeah.
I'm also okay with, helping to support the family and helping with the kids. And so my wife can go to school. I think that's an important thing for this part. In a few years, I can get back to it full time. And yeah.
That's awesome.
I think if you go into it looking for anything, you're going to be disappointed. Or if you go into it like, we're doing this, like, I'm going to do this anyway. Like, that was always my deal. Like, I'm going to sit around and play guitar and write songs no matter what.
Yeah.
So just keep doing it, And if anyone gives a shit and it does anything, then great. If not, I'm still going to be playing guitar and writing songs.
Yeah.
And going to make an ass of myself.
No, I love that. That's a definitely a good thing to remember. And a friend of mine, I think she said that her mantra for last year was no expectations. And so I always try to keep that in mind and stuff whenever I have expectations, which is often. So, and then, even like you said, I mean, even if I didn't, record anything or go out and play, I would most likely still be writing and playing for myself. And, you can see our little art wall and stuff. I mean, this is kid stuff. This is my stuff. And I mean, we're all actively creating a lot too. And, trying to keep those wheels spinning. That's just kind of who we are, I guess, too.
Yeah. It makes you happier doing that.
Well, I think that's the thing with creative people like all of us is like, regardless if anyone appreciates it and likes it, I still have to get it out. Like it's pinging in my head, whether it's, a sculpture, or, a drawing or a song, it's in there. I need to get it out. So if no one ever likes it, listens to it, I don't care. At least I'm putting it out there and getting it out from here and making it into some form of physicality. And I think that's what we all kind of share is like, I love people coming to shows. I love, playing live, but at the end of the day, I'd still be creative. Like it's not going to change, after the whole shutdown with COVID, we weren't playing anywhere, but I think a lot of people found their creatives as well. And that's what you saw so much more art and stuff being created over that time frame because now they had time to actually listen to what all that stuff was pinging around and put it out, and it worked out great. It forced people who maybe weren't creative beforehand to find that creative part of their brain and, reignite some passion. So.
Oh, absolutely! It was one of the coolest things to see. During that pandemic lockdown year, for sure.
And a lot of people learned that they know how to make sourdough starters now. That's cool, right?
So many people.
Yeah. We'll never run out of sourdough, I guess. But.
Never again. Do you remember, like, I don't know if you guys remember this, but remember when, like, Jack in the Box came out with, like, the sourdough Jack, and it was, like, this big thing, and everyone's like, oh, it's on sourdough bread. Well, now that's no longer, like, some kind of coolness. It got taken away. Thanks, pandemic.
Anyone can make sourdough now.
Right, it's not so impressive.
Just ruined it for everybody. Right. Oh, yeah, sorry, Kim.
Oh, no, I was just going to ask, was anybody else hearing that echo while we were talking?
A little tiny one.
Okay.
There's nothing,
okay, just checking.
Just the way she goes. This is barely in there. It's fine.
This is live.
It's fine.
We also learned that we should not probably eat and then do this. I have anyway. Because I feel like my voice is all weird because we just ate dinner.
I was going down a whole other path with that. I was like, oh, yeah. No. You heard that?
At least the dog
I just ate too. And no, we're all in the same boat. I ate as well. So.
Yeah. We'll listen to it back and be like, what's wrong with your voice?
I don't hear anything weird, but your voice is kind of weak. But
well, I've been having trouble with it. So
your voice sounds good. It's like very soothing. Mm-hmm. Like I kind of want you to read me nighttime stories.
$2.50 a minute. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
That's
you could probably do that, Kim. I think so. Yeah, you guys have beautiful voices too.
Yeah.
They
No, it's
do.
fun.
Thanks.
No,
Absolutely.
just
No,
silliness.
I loved hearing you sing. So yeah, we got to get you back out here another time. So
Yeah, we're looking at, I think, getting with Jonathan about coming back in October. So
nice.
yeah,
That's about a perfect time for a fall Twin City Stone. So
I'll see
you got to let us know for sure.
how low Elaine's standards are this year. like if you ain't got nothing going on, we're just we'll be around.
No, we'd love to have you. That'd be so awesome. Yeah.
The whole time we've been listening to, I was like, dude, I want to play a show with Sugar Britches. I don't
Right.
care if it's we do a
that'd be
duo
awesome.
with the Forge. I don't care. It'd be fun. Just that way I can see
Yeah,
a
that-
Sugar Britches show and I don't have to pay. I can play a set and it's a free show.
Did you guys get out to the Forge when you were out here? I can't
Actually
remember.
played the Forge. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's
So
a
we did that the
beautiful
night
little room.
before the stomp.
So warm.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's such a cool little patio area, and I mean it's so small, but it's so intimate, and it's a very special place. And that's when me and my first bandmate started playing at Sugar Britches. That was kind of our residency. We had a monthly residency there, so we'd play, I think, the first or second Sunday of every month. And it really helped to build an audience. And I mean, it was kind of our place to just try some new stuff out, try new stuff I was writing, and just be really goofy and stuff too. So it's kind of a nice, safe space to be a weird musician. So.
Well, that's always a nice thing when you have like that local spot that you can go and all right, we're gonna road test this song. You guys let us know how it sounds. Like,
Yeah, totally.
it helps, man. We're lucky we have a place around us called Ronnie's, and it's kind of the same thing. They do an open mic, every week, and so at least like once a month or once a quarter, we'll head out there, and it's like where we go and try out. All right, we're gonna try this one, and people are cool. They're receptive to it. They're respectful, and like you can't beat that, man.
No, you absolutely need that, I think, too. And yeah, just kind of a place where you feel safe to do it. And I guess it's kind of similar to, stand up, where you just got to try out some of those jokes before you take them on the road, maybe.
Right, yeah. And if they
Yeah.
crash and burn, you're like, okay, I need to go back and fix this. That was not good. That felt weird.
Right? You're like, that's obviously a topic that's not funny yet. Noted.
Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't be singing about this yet.
Right.
Yeah, there's that too. It's just you sing stuff. You're like, yeah, man. Because a lot of times you practice songs and it happens, and then it's okay, and then when you sing it live, you don't have the outs, and it's like we'll see how it happens in reality. You always play it different in front of people, and then you're like,
Totally.
yeah, no, that did not. I figured it would work itself out in front of people, and it did not.
No, I don't know if you guys have this too, but sometimes I'll write a song sitting down, and I always stand when I sing and perform usually. So I'll be standing to sing it, and I'll be like, "Oh, this is the wrong key that I wrote it in sitting down." So I'll get up and I'll be like, "I guess I can't sing any."
This one's gonna have to change.
Yeah, so it's good to test those things out at a safe space.
Right, where you're not going to, it's like, okay, that one didn't, we'll move on. And,
Yeah,
people
totally.
are just, it's cool when you have a place like that where people are okay with listening. They want to be a part of it. Well, I heard that when first time they ever played it.
A lot
It was
different
just terrible.
Right. It was bad back then. He really polished that turd.
Yeah.
Songs evolve, yo.
Yeah, they absolutely do. And yeah, do you guys ever circle back to songs, or do you, after they're written, they're buttoned up?
No, we have stuff like there's songs we're working on now that like I've rewritten some of the lyrics where I'm like, yeah, like stuff I played before where it was even with old bands, and I was like, yeah, I never really felt comfortable with that song, and then it's like, oh, if I change this and this lyric makes it come together better, makes it make more sense. There's always those songs you start playing, especially early in bands, and even early with us, where it's like you're just trying to pump content out. Like, here's our 10 songs,
Totally.
we got 10, and then you go back and you're like, wow, I pushed that one out. Like,
Yeah.
because we were going through old
absolutely.
songs we haven't played recently, and it's like, yeah, dude, I don't think we'll ever play that song ever again.
It's just not me anymore.
Totally. I think that happens for a lot of bands and groups too. Yeah, it's fun to be able to come back to them too. I know there's a couple songs I did on my first album that we re-recorded as Sugar Britches, and just in kind of a little bit different style. And I find notebooks and little post-it notes all over my house and my work, and I'm like, oh yeah, I need to come back to that song, and doing a few years later. So
Well, interesting for me, man, especially with Sugar Bridges, like I said, they're legit songs, and they're funny, but they're actually still like real songs. In the fact, I always feel like it's not like Weird Al. You're writing like songs that are humorous. But what was it? I guess when did you decide to kind of take that route? Like, was it just your natural inclination to kind of have that kind of snarky bit of humor in there? Because what was it? we were just trying to play it yesterday. In Spite of Ourselves, like John Prine, things like that.
Yeah.
You know, where he has a lot of those kind of snarky, funny songs.
Oh, totally. Well, John Prine is definitely one of my favorite influences for sure. And I think the thing I definitely learned from him was, I mean, you can have a really sad song, but you should maybe have at least like one kind of funny line in there, or at least like darkly funny. Because even like one of my favorite songs by him is All the Best, which is a divorce song. And even just that line, I guess love is like a Christmas card. You decorate a tree and throw it in the yard, and it decays and dies, and the snowman melts. I mean, all that stuff is just, I find it wildly funny.
Yeah.
Even though it's very sad too.
Right.
So, but my first band I was with was a Sad Bastard bluegrass band. And that was when I was in the height of my alcoholism too. So every song is very serious, very sad, and there's a few little bit of snark in there too. But I would say coming into playing with Sugar Britches, I think just the way I view the world, I try to look at the humor in it too, and I think that just is going to come out in my song. I try to write serious stuff now too, and it all just kind of comes out a little more humorous, I guess too. And it's not always my intention. A lot of the songs on this last album actually started out pretty slow and pretty sad, and then they kind of just sped up and turned funny, I guess. Everyone was laughing at it. I was like, oh, I meant that to be serious, but
Right, but it all kind of works itself out, especially in the context when everybody gets involved.
Oh, totally. Well, I remember one of the songs I played for my wife, and she was like, "Are you ever going to write a serious song again?" I was like, "Well, this was a serious song."
Well, I'm blanking though. Is it "Who's Your God"? That was a semi-serious song. Like that was a really side.
Oh, thank you.
I really enjoyed that song quite a bit. They haven't heard it, but
gotcha.
Not my fault. I mean, that's my fault. I did not play it for him, but that was one of the ones where I was like, dude, that was like there's good mix in there, man. Like I said,
thank you. No, I appreciate that, and that is actually, I would say that song has gotten the best response from that album. For sure. And it always surprises me because we play it in a lot of different places, and you never know how a song about God and their followers is going to go.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just a response to, Christian nationalism that's rampaging around the country too. And people don't always get that. And I mean, the main message is, I don't care who your God is. I just want you to be a kind person.
Right.
Yeah, and that definitely did come from something that was weighing on me, especially during that COVID year too. So.
Well, plus it seemed good. It was very you handled it correctly, delicately, I guess. It wasn't, or thoughtfully. That's the word I'm looking for. Thoughtfully. It was handled thoughtfully. It wasn't just like a good mash. It was like if you're listening to it, you're like, yeah. Most people just hear it and be like, yeah, damn right. Even if they're kind of the people it's railing against, they would hear it and go yeah, what he's saying is right. And then you walk out and hopefully it sticks in your brain somewhere down the road. It's like, yeah, you know what, dude was right. I should not be a dick.
Yeah, totally. Well, and coming with something like that, I mean, I'm not traditionally a super confrontational person, but I think it's okay. I think it's good to talk about that stuff, and especially broach a lot of these subjects that I've been trying to be a little bit better about bringing all this stuff up and speaking for more marginalized groups and people too, and especially when there's, if we're turning into a theocracy, I don't really want that. So
right, yeah, exactly.
I figure, well, I can at least write a song about it. So, but thank you. I love that song too.
Now I have to go listen to it.
Yeah, that was my fault. I should have played that one for y'all, but I was.
I also added it on Spotify. It's partly my fault. You don't have to take all the blame.
Oh, it's no. I'm just trying to be nice.
I know.
But you suck.
No,
yes.
I know.
It's okay. I wasn't expecting you guys to listen to every song, so.
Well,
I did.
I appreciate it.
That's the thing. I wasn't even planning on it. I was just like, I'm going to listen to a few of these things. I was like, well, shit, man. And then it would end and I'd restart the record and be like, oh, I missed that one. Then so, now everyone I'm going to feel bad because we do certain some other interviews and be like, yeah, this one song of yours I've heard. And it's when you were talking to Brian Johanson, you said you listened to all. That was Sugar Britches.
Well, a lot of people have a lot of songs and stuff too, so
It's true.
it's a lot to get through. But,
Very true. So I'm curious as to, we were listening to several songs this weekend and then this afternoon, but do you, I feel like the music is so good that you start out and you're like, oh God, this is like this is like a traditional country band. This is so awesome. And then like maybe you've never seen you live before and someone's just in the room and then you throw out some line and what did that guy just say? Did he?
Do you know? No. You're asking if he notices the audience kind of turn and look kind of like a peculiar
do you live
look.
for that reaction? I wonder, because you're really good at getting it. At least for me, because I'm like, what?
I truly do. I think you nailed the head.
Is that high you're chasing?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That is definitely one of the highs. If not maybe the only high I'm chasing for sure. I do really like that reaction, and I like to see. I love playing rowdy like honky tonk places too, and I like people to dance and have a good time. But I really like the listening rooms, and I love when people like kind of they'll hear my voice and they'll see me and they'll just be like, maybe they'll just think, oh, this is just kind of a sad sack country song, and then they'll hear something about boners or polyamory or something, and I'll just be like, what? Yeah, so I do really like throwing people a curveball.
It's great. It's clever. Not in a cheeky way, but like just flat clever. I really enjoy it.
But that was something I enjoyed about polyamory too. That song specifically was that a lot of people would make fun of just anyone. To me, it had like almost a positive spin on it. It wasn't like we know a few poly people in our lives, and so I was like, good. I was like, this is something I could share with them, and they get a laugh, and they wouldn't be like, why is this dude being a dick towards us? So I was glad totally. It was like it wasn't a judgmental version. It was just funny. So
I'm glad. Yeah, it's always funny because there is a polyamorous group that definitely clung to that song, and I definitely don't want to be judgmental of anyone as well. And
that's what I say. It's a very hard line to walk, to be funny and stuff without like persecuting in a way the thing you're making fun of or making a joke. No matter what it is, it's somewhat at that expense of some.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's saying it where it's like they're in on it. Where that's what you have the people you're talking about in on the joke as well.
Oh,
that's
totally.
hard to do.
Yeah,
where
they like it.
Where it's like, dude, they're right. Like it's funny and it's great and it doesn't make us look bad.
Yeah. Someone put on the YouTube comments on that video. They were like, "This guy really gets it."
See, right on.
I thought that was so funny, and then because it was based on a true story. I started dating someone who was polyamorous, and I was just too stupid to realize what it was really.
Man.
I honestly kind of just thought it was like a joke. I just wasn't that familiar. I had just kind of gotten back into online dating back then, and then on our third date, she was like, "Yeah, so." I'm polyamorous, right? And then okay. And then she kind of explained it to me, and then dated a little bit longer. And then I don't know if this is for me, really. I just don't think it's for me. But I did. Like I remember after I think that one date, I was like, I came home with that line. My girlfriend has a big boyfriend and a very pretty wife. I was like, man, I got a song out of it at least. So that was kind of the year I was like, yeah, you got to say yes to every situation.
Right.
At least
it's an experience.
At least get some good songs.
And I feel like you made, in the song at least, you made the best of it.
Yes.
You didn't know what door you were walking into, but you had fun while you were in the room.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. My mom had lots of questions about that song.
Oh man.
Yeah. How do you know about this, Brian?
Yeah.
I have the internet, Mom.
What is polyamory, and why do you know about it?
Yep, exactly. I said, the LDS community, and
the ones we don't talk about.
Yeah.
Plural merit.
Yeah.
Other songs.
We got to play in Utah last year, and that was our running joke. Was like, you guys are gonna love this one.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the album's called "No One Cares It's Your Birthday." And you end on the birthday song, and I honestly believe that you've kind of set yourself up to have to play that song. Once people know it, it's going to turn into like, it's my friend's birthday, sing her that song. Like that's way more. I feel like the current world we live in, that's way more palatable than the actual birthday song everyone hates.
Oh, I agree, absolutely. And I was a waiter for years, and then
oh yeah.
also just been, playing music for almost 20 years. And I always tell people, like, the worst thing you can say to a musician is, it's my friend's birthday. Because I fucking hate that song so much. And
It's
so
worse than
I
Freebird,
complained about it a few
I just
what
want the audience to know it's worse than Freebird. Just don't do
Yes,
it.
absolutely. I would 100% say it's worse than Freebird. So,
Agreed.
but I complained about it, and then my buddy Johnny was like, well, if I complain about it, write a song. So I did. And then I started playing that for drunk people in bars. And then I remember my buddy Johnny heard it, and he was like, pretty dark, dude. I don't
Whatever. I can hear people like, dude, like even worse. This is the band that does the birthday song about, eating a dick and giving no fucks. Like, this is it.
Yeah.
Even if it's not their birthday, it's like, it's my friend's birthday.
Oh, totally. Well, and then if we ever just want to play it, we'll just say, hey, it's this person's birthday, and then we'll play it. So.
There you go.
Even better.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
So when did that album come out? Was it last year or this year?
We put that out in September of last year. We recorded it in January of last year in 2022, and then kind of worked on mixing and mastering it. We recorded it out here in Fort Collins at Stout Studios, and he mixed and mastered it for us. And and then we tried the model of releasing singles like every month or so too, and which I had never done, which was very hard for me to be patient, just because I wanted to be like, I want you to hear them all, but it's all changed so much too.
Yeah. Do you feel like you're any better at that? Like I think we're still trying to figure it out too.
It's a hard thing, especially in the last decade, I feel like there's just not as many like print publications going around, and then even a lot of the internet sites and stuff. It was just a little bit harder to promote just the singles, I think, when you're kind of an independent Colorado band, at least, unless you definitely like have an in at a few places. And old honky tonk folk country isn't always the easiest thing to promote to larger websites and blogs and stuff like that too. There's definitely a few of them out there for sure.
Yes, it's hard though, man. It's hard to be patient once you're done. Like, it's done. Like, I'm not going to share it with you for 9 months. Before this last album, I think anything we'd ever recorded, it was like, is it mastered? Yeah, it's back. It's mastered. Cool. It's available on Bandcamp tomorrow. Be ready to go. Like, here it is. It's done. There'll be CDs available in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Go listen now. Just get it out. I'm not sitting on this. I can't do it.
Totally. Well, it's just such a joy to share that too, and kind of like we've all talked about it. You want to get it out of your system, and you want to see people's reactions, and you want to just share it, and you want to feel that connection as well. And that is really what I crave too. And even I don't know. There's a few things that I like to keep to myself too, and then I'll just be like, yeah, this is just for me. But I do like to get a lot of it out there. So, and then we were able to. I should give my bandmates a shout out too, because Lance Ruby is our electric guitarist extraordinaire, and he really. I came to that album with about half of those songs, like pretty much just the words and a basic outline, and Lance really helped me structure all that too. He's a really, really awesome, solid musician. And then Ansel Foxley, who plays Dobro.
Okay.
You might have seen him in one or two of those videos too. But
Yeah.
Amazing musician. And then we had Ben O'Connor, he was my old web design professor from college. He
no kidding.
He played bass on that album, and he used to play with us up until just the end of last year. Now he's got a new bassist called named Cam Collins.
Nice.
He's a bassist. We just call him.
Right.
He's not a real person.
Just
kidding, Cam. We love you. But yeah, like I said, I've been lucky to kind of surround myself with a lot of talented guys who are really silly fun boys too. So every show we get pretty silly and have a lot of fun too. So I really love
man.
that.
Like I said earlier, it's a testament to the songs you're writing. People aren't. Every time I played side music for somebody, it was never like, oh god, like I don't want to do this. This is terrible. It has to be someone I really like. Or I was like, dude, I'm gonna put in the time to not only learn these songs, but learn them correctly to play them. Where I'm not just on the side. Like, 'cause I used to do lap steel and guitar and bass and stuff, and it was just like, yeah, I'll learn this song. I like this enough. And if I didn't, it'd be like, nah, man, like that's work, and no, like it's not worth all this work to do on this.
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Wow.
I learned from all the girls who shut me down over the years. I'm busy.
I'm washing my hair.
I would, but I'm really kind of between relationships right now, and I don't. My old band just kind of broke up. I don't know if I'm ready for that kind of commitment.
Right. I'm really recovering. Okay.
And then a week later, it's like in band relationship on Facebook. It's like, motherfucker.
The real truth is, I know you're all in like 6 bands, and just trying to keep it together. No,
those are all very valid excuses too. I mean, I've heard them all as well, but
I'm sure we've all given them.
the washing your hair one is a real one too. So
It's true.
You don't realize till you're married how much goes into washing hair, and
Well, when you have almost waist length hair, it's.
yeah, I'm trying, Kim. I'm getting there.
I've had short hair most of my life. I just started growing out during the pandemic, and now I just don't care anymore. So.
See, I grew my hair out long once.
I did it. Yeah, I did it
like
once a while ago.
It's so down here especially, it's so hot and humid, and like I think I was in Alabama someplace. I was like, I'm gonna die. Like my head is so hot right now. Like I can't do this. I'm like pouring water on myself. Just like, this is terrible. I don't want to. I went home and I'd been waiting for it to get long enough for like Locks of Love, and it was like 13 1/4. It's like, it's definitely long enough. Me and my daughter did it in like, a bunch of different ponytails, and she just took the clippers and sheared me like
Like a sheep.
like a sheep. Yeah, I almost said like a goat, because we like to shear goats.
What?
They common?
Thanks for saving me, babe.
You grew up at the beach.
Yeah.
What do you know about goats?
We had goats. We had Goat Island.
You had beach goats?
Yeah, we did. So trivia, which I don't know if this will make it into the episode, but whatever. Bolivar Peninsula had this area of land that was right next to it. And I guess somebody brought some goats and just dumped them over there, and they didn't die. They just started procreating and making more goats. So we used to call it Goat Island. Like if you decided you wanted a goat as a pet, you could just take a boat right across the Intercoastal Canal.
And kidnap a goat from its colony? How mean.
Did you say kidnap because baby goats are called kids?
Yeah, Kim
Maybe.
definitely knew
Probably
that.
not.
And that was her hilarious joke. But yeah, that's what you did. You had goats.
Wow.
And they lived over there, and you'd be fishing, and you'd
What about
see
during
like
the hurricanes?
I don't know what you
happened to
call a
the
herd
goats?
of goats, but there'd be like a bunch of goats running up, looking at you while you're fishing, and it'd be weird. So yeah, we had that.
Trivia. There you go.
Did you take any goats home?
I did have a pet goat for a period as a child.
Doesn't surprise me.
No, it was cool. It was cool though, man. It wasn't.
What
it wasn't
was
that
its
bad
name?
Apparently wasn't cool enough for me to remember its name, but I remember we had it for a long time. And my mom we had it for years, and my mom tied it up and ate a bunch of oleander leaves and died.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So yeah, I'm glad you
Wow, this took a
push,
horrible turn.
You had to push that
That's not
story,
going to
Hell.
make it on the podcast. It's fine.
Oh no, maybe it will. It'll be a good downer ending. It's like cool.
No, this sounds like a song. The start to a song right here too.
Right.
So.
Right.
Oh, God.
It's like we're pitching a song to Slim Cessna's Auto Club.
About the goat. I could hear that, man.
Absolutely, I can hear that too.
The oleanders and the goat.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's great.
Munley will hear this and he'll give him an idea, and we can get a co-write.
If I steal any of it, I'll definitely let you know.
All right.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to know? Or
That's what I was about to ask you. Is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything? Because this will run the 29th of March. So is there anything
nice.
coming up around the 29th of March or April that you would like to tell the world about?
Sure. Yeah. Our schedule is kind of sporadic, but of course, people can follow us on Instagram at Sugar Britches Music. There's a lot of Sugar Britches bakeries out there, so you got to be
That's
careful.
true.
So
Yeah, I
we're
started
the Sugar
following
Britches
them.
Music. Yeah.
Wrong Sugar Britches.
Yeah, the bakeries get tagged in music stuff all the time. It's really funny. Yeah.
I was hopeful that this was going to be a band and a bakery. I was like, double down.
Our first album release, someone made Sugar Britches cookies, and our first album was called "Don't Make Her a Mixtape Yet, You Idiot."
Yes. Brilliant.
Someone made mixtape cookies, which is awesome. So we handed out mixtape cookies. Yeah, it was blast. But well, anyway, so that's our Instagram, and then our website is sugarbritchesmusic.com, and that has all our dates and some other info too, if anyone's interested. And then we will be playing at the Choice City Stomp Spring event, which will be Easter weekend out here in the swing station in Fort Collins, Fort Colorado. So.
Which is a great place to see music.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're going to have Sean K. Preston and Volk and
Yes.
Willie T. Taylor. Yeah, and then we're going to play as well. And yeah, so I think that's one of the bigger ones. And then we've got a few things in the works, and we'll get out as much as we can, travel in the summer and spring too. But we try to play a lot. It's pretty necessary for me to get out and play, I think, and it's nice to have a supportive wife and kids who they don't mind when I get out and play, and they know that I need it too. So
Yeah.
Right on, man.
yeah.
All right, man. Thank you very much for coming and talk to us.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me. No, this is great. You guys are great hosts.
Thanks, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right. Thank y'all for listening to another episode of Music in the Minor League. We really hope you enjoyed this one. Please share this podcast with a friend. As we always say, it's the best way to reach new listeners. If you enjoyed Sugar Britches and really want to check them out, follow their website, go on to Instagram, follow them at Sugar Britches Music. We really enjoyed them, so we'd really hope that you did too. Go follow them on any of your streaming networks. Do what you can to help get the word out more. Now we're going to leave you with a song we discussed in the episode called Who's Your God? Off of their new album called No One Cares It's Your Birthday. It's available everywhere, so go check it out. Pick up a copy on Bandcamp. See y'all next time.
You got a hard on for heaven, and you're not even living. You're just concerned with your holy word. And you're so busy screaming, and you're so lousy preaching. You don't see that you're making hell on earth. One God, one truth, one perspective to boot. And he made it one white man like you and me. Why not a pantheon or a fish god who can spawn a brand new breed of slippery deities? Oh, who's your God? I don't care, I just want you to be kind. Well, I know that your identity lies in your eschatology. Must be nice thinking only you are right. What an awful world to live, what a shallow pond to swim. Nobody's home but you're left on all the lights. Oh, is he God obtuse, or has this all just been a ruse? Has the world just lost our collective mind? If you don't like it in the end, I guess you can just send thoughts and your prayers up to the sky. Oh, who's your God? I don't care, I just want you to be kind. Your God is your reflection, it's no peak of perfection. You better clean up that mirror next time. Cast a spell, chant a chant, sing a hymn, or post a rant. But I'd rather be listening to John Prine. Oh, who's your God? I don't care, I just want you to be kind all the time. I just want you to be kind. Oh, who